The chemistry lab had erupted into chaos. Cadet Jennifer Hayes stumbled backward from her workstation, a thin line of red blooming across her forearm where the shattered beaker had caught her. The experimental compound hissed as it made contact with the lab floor, sending up plumes of acrid smoke that triggered the ventilation system's emergency protocols. Containment breach. The automated system's voice boomed through the laboratory. All personnel evacuate immediately. But nobody was moving. The 12 non-human students stood frozen, their various sensory organs locked onto the crimson fluid now dripping from Jennifer's arm onto the pristine white floor. ZYXOF, a gelatinous mirror-lac whose body was 80% water, began vibrating uncontrollably, their species equivalent of a panic attack. She's hemorrhaging. Her liquid core is escaping. Someone contact her family. This came from Pelcor, an avian kless whose feathers had puffed out to twice their normal size. She'll want to record her final thoughts before cerebral shutdown. Jennifer blinked at them, confused, then looked down at her arm. The cut was maybe 2 inches long, bleeding steadily, but not severely. What? No, I'm fine. It's just a scratch. Just a scratch. Instructor Volmara, a reptilian Esiscathar, was already on the communication panel, their clawed fingers trembling as they entered the medical emergency code. Student Hayes, you are experiencing a Category 5 breach of your circulatory system. Remain calm and try to preserve cognitive function for as long as possible. What? Jennifer grabbed a nearby cloth and pressed it against the cut. Seriously, I'm okay. It's not even that deep. ZYXOF had begun making a high-pitched keening sound. She's in shock. The pain has overloaded her neural pathways. She doesn't even... Classic denial phase, Pelcor whispered to another student. My xenopsychology texts covered this. Humans enter a dissociative state before final systems failure. The medical team arrived within 90 seconds, a new station record. They burst through the laboratory doors with a hover stretcher, emergency stasis field generator, and what looked suspiciously like last rites documentation for 3 different major galactic religions. Dr. Then, a soft-spoken Quillen whose fur was usually a calm blue, had gone stress white. Where's the patient? Here, Jennifer said, raising her cloth-wrapped arm. But honestly, this is really unnecessary. Dr. Then's 6 eyes widened simultaneously as they scanned her. The medical tricorder beeped, analyzed, and beeped again as if confused. Your hemoglobin levels are optimal. Cellular regeneration has already begun. Pain indicators are barely elevated. Yet because it's just a cut. Jennifer carefully unwrapped the cloth to show them. The bleeding had already slowed to a seep. I've had worse from my cat. You've experienced this before? Instructor Volmara's voice was faint. Multiple times. Yeah, everyone has. Jennifer looked around at the assembled crowd of students and medical personnel, all staring at her with expressions ranging from horror to disbelief. You guys are seriously freaking out over this. ZYXOF had to be physically stabilized by 2 other students. She speaks of it so casually, as if her containment shell being breached is a common occurrence. It kind of is, Jennifer admitted. Humans get cuts and scrapes all the time. We heal from them. Usually takes a week or 2, depending on size. A week. Doctor then consulted their medical database frantically. But you've lost at least 15 milliliters of blood. And this won't cause organ failure? Systemic collapse? Existential cessation? Not even close. Jennifer grabbed the first aid kit from the wall, the human-specific one that other species found disturbingly primitive. She cleaned the wound with an antiseptic wipe, applied antibacterial ointment, and wrapped it with a simple bandage. The entire process took 45 seconds. The watching students looked like they'd witnessed a miracle. Remarkable, Doctor then breathed, therefore slowly returning to its normal blue. Your species' damage tolerance protocols are aggressive. We call it not being made of tissue paper, Jennifer said, then immediately felt bad as ZYXOF wobbled sadly. Sorry, no offense. Instructor Volmara made a note on their data pad with shaking claws. I'm adding a mandatory unit on human durability to the xenobiology curriculum. Clearly, we've all underestimated Earth's evolutionary pressures. Jennifer just smiled, flexing her bandaged arm experimentally. On her homeworld, she'd finish the lab and probably go to the gym afterward. Here, she'd apparently just survived the unsurvivable. She decided not to tell them about the time she'd broken 3 ribs and still finished a marathon.